Okay, welcome back. So wasn't that easy? And you know what? This is going to be just as easy. It's the same process, slightly different tweak. But before I show you this, there's something of critical importance we need to discuss. It's this right here. You see what's going on right here? I did not have butt implants. This is a microphone, but it's just looking like I have had butt implants. Those are next week, assuming more people subscribe to this newsletter so I can afford them. They're very expensive. Anyway, so here is how you do this. You'll notice that once again, we have got the handy dandy Frameworks worksheet, and you will have one of these as well, all up in your newsletter packet. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and get this guy out so you can reference it and fill it in while we're going through the framework. So countdown emails are significantly different than click emails, because in the countdown emails, you're aggressively trying to sell. That doesn't mean that we have lost sight of the sole purpose of the email, which is still to get the click. So let's have a look here. Look at that. Look at that. You got to love it when technology comes together. So let me walk you through all the components. First thing is we're going to have, just like before, our subject line. Subject line still has the same job. That job is to get it opened. And just like our click sequence, these emails are going to be almost exactly the same, with the only differences being we're just going to change the subject line and we're going to change the beginning of the email. So it's literally the same process, just slightly different stuff in each of these frameworks here. So our subject line gets it open. Now, as we progress, we're going to start changing these subject lines a little bit. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Now, our first sentence, of course, is to initiate scarcity, so introduce the scarcity. We want to do that right off the bat in our click-through email. So notice, a little different from the countdown sequence, right? We're introducing scarcity because they're already interested. They've already raised their hand. They've already expressed behaviorally that they're interested in the result. So our first sentence is going to be to illustrate that scarcity, and it's going to be to get the click. Now notice what we're saying right here at the very, very beginning. I'm saying your big discount on thing, in this case our tomato peeler 2000. It's always better if you have 2000 in the name of it. So your big discount on the tomato peeler 2000 ends on date and time. And this is where you would manually insert the date and time. You can even automate it if you want, but you want to put the date and time. If you really want to take a shortcut, you can leave the date and time out and you can say in 4 days, right? If you want to. I did that for years. Now I put the date and time in there most of the time, but you can just say in 4 days or 3 days or whatever. Now notice, we're introducing scarcity. The second job of this first sentence is to get the click. I am hyperlinking part of the sentence. So we want them to be able to click it. Now, element number 3 is going to be an image of the thing that is for sale. All right, so in this case, I've used the cover of my consulting book. Once again, I'm just putting a placeholder image in here. That was the one that was most easy to get when I was building these slides for you. In this case, it would be the cover of your course. It would be a picture of the widget itself. It could be anything, but you want to have an image here. Why? Because the all-knowing they say at the Bureau of Statistics of Internet Marketing Facts, the Bureau of Statistics of Internet Marketing Statistics, that sounds even better. The all-knowing they say that images get clicked on a lot. So with an image, you're supposed to get more clicks. I've actually split tested it. It's worked better to have images. So have an image of the thing. Okay, so this is a hyperlink. So now we have 2 ways for them to go click it. We've introduced the scarcity. That's not going to be enough. We need to do a little bit of selling. Before we do, we're going to have a direct call to action, right? So you'll notice it says, go here and get it now, okay? You don't even have to edit this sentence. You could literally just say, go here and get it now. Notice I have the words get it now hyperlinked. So we now have 3 places they can click in this email. Remember, the job of the emails primarily is to get the click, right? So our next element, which is element number 5 here, is if you are going to add a bonus in your countdown series, which I strongly suggest you do, you're going to reveal it here. So if you can have, imagine this, imagine you're giving a discount on something, there is scarcity, and now there's also an added bonus. You've got self-interest in the discount, you've got self-interest in the bonus, and you've got scarcity. Those 3 things are going to compound together to be more effective than any of them altogether. So you have an exponential degree of effectivity, if that's a word. It sounds like a word. So in number 5, you got 2 choices. You can introduce a bonus or you can start talking about the benefits of the thing that you're selling. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm introducing a bonus and I'm giving the benefits of the bonus itself. Now notice that in element number 6 here, I'm using the exact same framework that I use for the bullets. I'm using the exact same framework for the bullets that I used in the quick sequence email, right? So the bullet framework is the same. How to benefit without bad. Every time. That's a classic headline formula. It's a classic bullet formula. What never to do when you want to goal, right? What never to do when you want to peel tomatoes. Right? Use a pocket knife or a nail clipper or something, I don't know. Why everything you've learned about tomato peeling is dead wrong and what you should do instead. So we've got the same formulaic approach to the creation of bullets. Now the topic of your bullets are going to be different, of course. So in your click-through email, your quick email sequence, you're telling them what the value of going to watch the video is, what they're going to learn in the video. In this particular sequence, we're telling them the value of the bonus they're going to get. If you don't have a bonus, you use the exact same framework to discuss the value of the actual product they're going to get. Hey, if you want to go hog wild crazy, you could duplicate this. You could do, here's the benefits of the product, and then plus you're getting a bonus and give the benefits of the bonus. You can go nuts if you want to. I'm keeping it simple for now. All right, so that's step number 5 and 6. Step number next, which is number 7, is we're going to have a second deliberate call to action. Get it here now. Now notice, we've got 1. Sentence number 1, ability to click. Image, clickable. Call to action, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places in this email where they can click to go get the stuff, right? They ain't gonna buy the stuff if they don't click to go get the stuff. So the job of the emails in your click-through sequence is number 1, to get them to go click over there, and secondarily, to illustrate the benefits of the thing they're gonna get and illustrate and shine a light on the scarcity. But don't work too hard on the selling in this part, because that's the job of the sales letter. That's the job of the web page you're sending them to. Make sense? So if you think of these sequences and campaigns like a machine, machines are made up of a series of gears. Every gear has one job and one job only. Campaign's no different. The sole job of this is really to get the click. We don't want to make this thing try to do the job of the sales letter. That's how we start losing them, right? So it's a secondary job is to sort of do some selling, but we really want to get the click. Now, our final thing here is going to be our sign off and PS, not PF, PS. So what we're going to do, enjoy, Rick James Esquire, talk soon, doesn't matter, however you want to sign off, sincerely, your pal, right? Love, whatever it may be, yours in perpetual love of tomatoes. And then finally, PS, what we want to do in the PS is we want to restate the scarcity and we want to restate the bonus if you have a bonus. If you don't have a bonus, just restate the scarcity. Now, you'll notice we've got a total of, let's see, 2 on day 1, 1 on day 2, 1 on day 3, 3 on day 4. So what is that, 7 total emails? Is that right? 7 or 8? I can't even count on my fingers here because I'm holding this little thing. We have what's commonly known as more than 1 email in our countdown sequence. So, are you going to have to write this 8, 7 times, whatever? No. We're just going to change it up a little bit. Here's the changes we're going to make. First of all, as we get closer to the deadline, we will start using deadline-specific languaging. Okay, so in this one, day number 1, first name, FYI, fine, right? Hey, you're just letting them know that the discount is expiring. Now, we're only changing these 2 things. Everything else can remain the same. We might change a little bit in the PS, right? On day number 2, or email number 2, it could be RE, name FYI. You could just change this to say, this is important, your big discount is expiring, right? Everything's the same. We just literally put an RE here and wrote 1 extra sentence up here, this is important, right? For day number 2, it could say first name, question mark, right? And then your opening sentence could say, just wanted to make sure you knew about this, and then boom, your big discount is expiring. Everything else is the same, right? On day number 3, we could start getting a little bit heavier into the scarcity, right? So now we've only got 24 hours left in day number 3. So your subject line can say 24 hours left, urgent, right? And then expires tomorrow, colon. Just want you to know that this special offer is going away tomorrow, right? Everything else is the same. Now when we get on day number 4, this is the day you're sending 3 emails, your first email of the day is going to say deadline, the deadline to get your big discount on this thing ends at midnight today or whenever it may be. Your second email, everything else is going to be the same, by the way, except for the PS. You'll just mention the deadline again in the PS, right? So in every one of these, as you get closer, you'll mention how much closer you are in the PS. That's your only difference, okay? The second email of the day is going to say, let's say you're going to send that second email. Remember, we got 3 emails. You're going to send that second email out, let's say 2 hours before the deadline expires. It'll say only 2 hours left would be your subject line. And your first sentence would say, this goes away in 2 hours, colon. Your big discount on thing ends at time, right? So you're not changing really much at all, one sentence. Your PS would say, this expires in 2 hours, get it while you can, okay? If the page says expired, then the offer is over, right? Okay, and your final email, remember, the email's the same. We're changing one element, 2 at the most, which is going to be your subject line and your first sentence. The PS is kind of obvious. You don't actually have to change your PS, but I recommend you do, just to reflect what you're saying up here. Your final one is going to say final notice, and you might want to send it 30 minutes or so before the actual deadline. Final notice, all caps. This is expiring in 30 minutes, last chance. Everything else is the same. PS, if you get to this page, hyperlink the words this page. If you get to this page and it says expired, that means you were too late. That's it, right? Everything else is going to be the same here. Okay, so creating these sequences, while it might look like a lot to do, in reality, if you follow the frameworks, pretty simple. Okay, so that concludes this video on how to build these email frameworks. In the next video, what I want to do is walk you through how to put a countdown timer on any web page, including one that you don't own, without having to be too smart at the tech stuff. Pretty cool. I'll see you there.